Hello students, in this video you will be able to learn the non-green plants and insectivorous plants. Students, we have always observed the plants which are having green leaves. There are many other plants that are different from green plants because of their unusual features. Students, we know that chlorophyll is necessary to prepare the food. The non-green plants, if they do not have green leaves, then how do they prepare their food? This type of non-green plant, they are dependent on dead and decaying plants and animals for food. Let us perform an activity. Take a slice of bread, sprinkle drops of water over it. Now place the bread in a dish and keep it in a warm place. For example, near the window for few days. After few days, you will see some cottony greenish growth on the slice of bread. It is a type of fungus called bread mold. Bread that has mold is harmful and should not be eaten by us. At the end of the summer season, mother prepare pickle, mango pickle, isn't it? So if the ingredients are not used properly, fungus may develop on the pickle. You can discuss it with your mother. How do fungus grow on the pickle? From where do these non-green plants get food? They get or absorb food from other sources such as soil and green plants. Mushrooms and bracket fungi are some examples of non-green plants that are commonly found around us. Mushrooms have very thin root-like structures that go deep into the soil. These structures help them to absorb food from the soil. Bracket fungi grow on the tree trunks. They absorb food from the trees. Insectivorous plants. Some plants attract or capture, kill and digest insects. Such plants, they are known as insectivorous plants, or we can say it as carnivorous plants too. Venus flytrap and sundew pitcher plant, these are the examples of insectivorous plants. Now let's see the structure of pitcher plant. The leaf of the pitcher plant is having the shape like a pitcher with a small lid. The pitcher, it has a bright color to attract the insect. When that insect get attracted to the color, that insect enters in the pitcher and slips and fall into the juice below the pitcher. This trap the insect inside. Digestive juices inside the pitcher digest the insect. How is the flow of energy in the living world? All living organisms need energy to perform various activities. They obtain this energy from the food they eat. Green plants prepare their own food through photosynthesis. The sun provides the energy to the plants to prepare their food. Animals and human beings either directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. In this manner, the energy of the sun flows to the plants and then to animals and to human beings. Now, how do we dependent on plants? Means how do plants are dependent on animals and animals are dependent on the plants? Plants and animals, they both depend on each other for food and shelter. Plants provide food to the animals. We know this, we have learnt it. And the plant give oxygen to the animals. Animals take in or breathe in this oxygen. Animals breathe out carbon dioxide that plant uses for photosynthesis. Plants also need animals for many other purposes. Means there are some plants that their pollination means the seed is dispersed with the help of animals from one place to another place. So the plant help The animals help in pollination, in seed dispersal. Animals such as birds use plants to make their homes. You might have seen some birds like sparrow, they build their nest on the trees. Thus, plants and animals are strongly interdependent on each other for their survival. Now, how do we have to keep the balance in nature? What would happen if this balance is not in a proper way? There is an optimum balance in nature between the number of plants and animals. We know that plants and animals are interdependent on each other for survival. Plant gives us oxygen, and in return of oxygen we give them carbon dioxide while breathing. So if the number of plants suddenly increases, suppose there are so many plants everywhere, plants, and plants, what would happen? The carbon dioxide breathed out by animals would not be sufficient for the plants to make food. Similarly, if the number of animals suddenly increases, we have cut all the trees for the new building, for raising the factory and all. So there will be less number of plants. So what would happen? If the animals suddenly increase and if the plants suddenly decrease, plants may not be able to provide sufficient amount of food and oxygen to all the animals. Hence, a sudden increase or decrease in the numbers of plants or animals can create a threat to the survival of either of them. This would disturb the balance in nature. Sometimes human activities such as cutting of trees, construction work and mining disturb the balance in nature. Thus, human beings have to be very cautious about their impact on the environment. We must protect plants and animals. This will help to maintain the balance in nature on the earth.